Another insane day in the World Cup. Argentina's in the final. We don't know about France and Morocco yet. We know who the bad boy of the men's national team is, though. and a dude from Newark just bought a Premier League team, bro. Everything's crazy. And you know what he said at the press conference? He said, today's show is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
What a bold statement from the New Jerseyan.
Bro, Newark, baby. You know what I'm saying? Branding at all opportunities, okay?
I didn't hear. Who bought Bournemouth?
Dude, Michael B. Jordan, bro.
Michael B. Jordan? Is he the sole owner?
No. He's a very, very, very minority owner in a consortium. But we don't need to talk about all that, okay? And by the way, allegedly, all right?
Got it. We don't need to know what, we're not looking at his wallet. It's all good.
No. Also, I guarantee you, Michael B. Jordan doesn't know where Bournemouth is. Didn't know his consortium bought it. But hey, it's a dude from Newark owns a Premier League team. That's all we need to know.
Not gonna stop you from speaking loudly about it. So I get it. It's all good.
No, imagine a dude from your hometown. Imagine a dude from Sunset Park, dude, bought a Premier League team. You'd be all over it.
I'm gonna be the first. Let's go. Yeah. Welcome to the Cooligans, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
I am Alexis Guerrero.
Let's go. I am still doing the show from home because I don't know what's COVID's deal, but COVID is just like, yo, I ain't going anywhere.
Bro, honestly, I think the tests are against you, bro. I think it's a conspiracy, bro.
Okay. This is why I side with Elon. We need to prosecute Fauci.
Yo, who made your test? Men in Blazers, dog? What's going on here, bro?
What is
they don't want to see a shine, dude.
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I feel fine, but these tests, bro, these tests are haters, dog.
Bro. They're made by FanDuel. We don't side with y'all, bro. We DraftKings only out here. What y'all know about DraftKings?
I need to get my DraftKings branded COVID test. I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's go, dude. Gamble with everything besides your health, DraftKings.
So, yes, look, the first semifinal happened. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll get into the drama of the geodrama.
Bro, because there is quite a bit to go over, and I do want to know, this is the benefit of doing our show. Even if we were in the same room, we wouldn't tell each other how we feel until we start recording. But I am interested because it's a pretty polarizing topic, what's going on with Gio and Greg Berhalter and everything. But let's talk about Croatia just absolutely crumbling in front of Lionel Messi. I did not think this is how it would go down, bro. Nah. Croatia were tough to beat until they got in front of an absolute maniacal Argentina.
Yeah, this was I think what happened to Croatia was what happened to the U.S. against Netherlands, which is they were just gassed. They were just tired. They didn't show up. They didn't have the energy to really mentally check into that game because
that doesn't make us look good though. We were like the third youngest team in the World Cup,
but we didn't rotate players. The draw against Wales made it so that we had to play our strongest lineup pretty much every game. And so that's what it's gonna catch up to you at some point. And I think
hold on. There was a guy in training who wasn't even trying that hard. Now he would have had energy. You know what? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
So, but that was my first impression of this game was Croatia just were not prepared for this game. Argentina were good, but they got after the penalty. The goal for the Julian Alvarez goal, which was, if that goal happened in FIFA, I'm breaking my controller, bro. That's ridiculous. That's just the bounces.
Are you talking about the Messi assist?
No. The bounces that the two defenders clear it, but it lands on
He's
Julian's
just
chest.
running. He's just running. He doesn't stop his momentum, and somehow it falls back in front of him.
Just incredible. So I think once those two goals happened, you sort of got the sense like, oh, that's it, we're done. I don't think we're coming back. It wasn't like
I didn't get that sense. You know why? Because Argentina hasn't been able to stop any bleeding from happening at the end of matches. they've not been able to hold on to any leads or at least make it look comfortable at the end of any match.
Right, but-
so I was like, y'all need to get that third goal. And what a third goal, bro.
Right. But I was thinking the same thing. Argentina, they're going to give up a lead again. But I thought they started the beginning of that second half better than they did in the game against Netherlands. They really played.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah, they played just with a lot more poise and confidence. They didn't look as tired. They weren't making silly mistakes or anything like that. And because Croatia was really pushing up, I thought the third goal was going to come much sooner than it actually did. So
what I also noticed is, especially in the second half, is there was a bit more of a feeling with the Argentina team like they were playing for something. You know what I mean? It felt like their goal was to not just win the game, but like there's something else. Well, they feel like they're starting to feel like a team of destiny a little bit.
Well, the main difference here, I think, compared to the 2014 team that got to the final, is Messi has a couple really good players around him. Other players are scoring. Other players are doing things.
It's not Messi and 10 guys anymore.
So,
like, this is how good they were playing. Dybala got to get in the game, dude.
Oh, Dybala can. But Dybala's a strange one too, where even when he went to Roma, you remember? Did you see his announcement when there were like 40,000 people there to see?
He was like sitting on a hill, right? Like
on in the Coliseum or something like that. Or he was just sitting on this 90,000-year-old monument, and then he's just like not really doing much. And
he ain't doing nothing.
He's not really doing much in Juve. He didn't do too much in Juve, or wasn't that like you expect him to be the guy, and he's not the guy anywhere he goes.
No.
So it's a little bit of a shock, but it was the cast. The cast is better than in 2014.
Yeah,
that's really it.
And everyone seems to be playing at the top of their skill level. And the idea that honestly, I think what changed was Cristiano Ronaldo getting bumped out of the World Cup. Once Portugal lost, I think everyone's like, oh, wait a minute. If Messi wins this World Cup, then there's no question as to who the GOAT is. It seems like Argentina's like, dude, can we fuck over Ronaldo real quick?
The other 10 players wearing an Argentina shirt that are not Messi are like, I'll play for Messi. Argentina, never heard of her. You know?
Take the badge off. Take the badge off and put Messi's face right over my heart, bro. I don't care.
It is really you can see how important it is to them to play for this legendary player. I in the beginning of the game, my main concern was Acuna got yellow card accumulation, couldn't play in this game. Who was the left back that played? I forgot his name.
So did I.
Tagliafico from Ajax.
What a Latino name. It sounds like you order that and a couple of cannolis. Maybe an espresso.
Tagliafico. So that was my concern. I'm like, this dude might get cooked today, and it was the exact opposite. The fact that they won 3-0, Croatia were barely in this game, really didn't have any real chances. Martinez didn't really have to do much today, which was kind of a shock because I thought the same thing, height advantage that Croatia had, just like athletically they might give Argentina a problem, and they just very much did not. So and I was a little bit concerned for Leo Messi early. Remember in the first half when he was grabbing at his hamstring, and I'm like, this dude is playing possum, bro. Because
not now. I was like, not now, Messi. Not only does your legacy need this, I want to continue shitting on Ronaldo. So I need you to hold on for 90 more minutes, bro. Or at that point, 90 plus 45. I'm not doing that. So 135.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was. I don't know if his hamstring is giving him any issue at all. It definitely was a little bit of a concern. But everybody on the broadcast, I heard like John Strong and Stu Holden talking about it, but they were also sitting next to the Argentinian announcers, and they're all pointing at Messi. I'm sure he doesn't know what they're saying, but he's like, they're very concerned.
Yeah. So, I think this is very clearly becoming Arab world wants, Morocco to win, and that's like the B plot. The A plot seems to be get Messi this thing, and then the C plot is, hey, yo, we could stop having to talk about Ronaldo if Messi wins this thing. And I'm so happy for that. Dude, I thought it was cool to watch. It was cool to see like everything sort of falling in line. But here's something that worries me. At the end of the Netherlands match, remember how angry Messi was? He did the thing to Louis van Gaal, the celebration. He did the ¿qué está diciendo bobo? Or something like that. ¿Qué dices bobo?
Que mira,
Vete para allá, bobo.
Yeah.
Bro, I never seen that kind of Messi before. Angry Messi. And everyone else was getting hyped. If Messi's angry, now we're angry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There was like that thing of like, maybe that's what powered them in this match. And at the end of this match against Croatia, Messi was smiling, bro. Now we need angry Messi. Yo, someone go talk shit about Messi, bro. Can Louis van Gaal pop out and say something real quick?
Well, right now, I mean, I'm pretty certain Argentina are like, Morocco, I am Moroccan tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are supporting Morocco.
You think they'd rather go against Morocco?
100%.
I don't know.
100%. Why would they want to face France? You out of your mind?
Dude, Morocco does two things that hurt Argentina. One, they defend well, right? That could hurt Argentina.
Yeah.
Also, Argentina ain't got it to stop them on the counter. I actually think they fare better. I think they fare better against France. France are easy to score on.
No.
Yes.
I mean, look,
also,
in this
he plays
tournament,
with
Morocco have been pretty remarkable. They've only given up one goal. Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, incredible. Also, he plays with Mbappe. He knows his weakness.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another player's girlfriend, from what we've heard.
That's all it is. That's all you need to do.
Buddy, we'll figure this out.
If you're his teammate, you know his kryptonite. It's all good. No, I think that's a wild statement. I would, if I was anybody on the Argentinian team, I would 100% want to face Morocco. I feel like I would have a much stronger chance because I will have the ball. I'll be more control. Yes, will it be a difficult? It'll be a difficult game regardless of who we play.
Yeah, we're pulling at straw. We're pulling at straws, pulling at hairs. What is it? You know what I said? I went to the ice cream shop yesterday, and the guy's like, "Which scoop do you want on top?" And I was like, "Hey, baby." Dancer's choice. I meant dealer's choice, but dancer's choice came out of my mouth, and my wife goes, "Dancer's choice," and I go, "Wait, what is it?" She goes, "Dealer's choice." I go, "Dealer's choice," and the ice cream guy goes, "Yeah, I thought it was weird." I was like, "Buddy, say something."
All right. Well, customer's always right. All right.
Yeah. Now get out here and do some merengue with me, man.
Didn't realize, we had a dancer on our hands. You sure you want to be in this ice cream?
Bro, you better be twerking while you making that ice cream, bro.
So look,
people are wondering why I ordered ice cream in 32-degree weather. It's just the Alexis life.
So the look, I don't think I think a big takeaway from this game is I think just wildly disappointing from Croatia. Croatia defeated Argentina in 2018, if I remember correctly. I think it was 3-0 or 3-1. And to lose like this, where you just really weren't even in the game, it's I think very, very disappointing. And this is kind of the end of a legacy for a couple of these Croatian players. You don't imagine
Luka Modric, who, by the way, I don't feel like is getting his flowers for some reason.
I mean, he has a Ballon d'Or. I mean, he's been pretty.
I just mean like in the general conversation, he is one of the greatest midfielders of all time.
Yeah, but midfielders they're not ever really appreciated like that, bro. It's like
you got to have more sauce.
Yeah, and this TikTok generation, bro. What are you gonna? Oh, you do a couple Cruyff turns and you can shield the ball. Wow.
That's not gonna get the likes.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Nah, man, you ain't going viral that way.
Yeah, whenever we appreciate midfielders, it's always in conjunction with like a great play or a great goal or
a nutmeg,
something in connection to other players. So
yeah,
I think of Messi Ozil as one of the best midfielders I've seen, and it's like, but I always think about him with Santi Cazorla and getting the ball to Giroud and all these things. And so it's like more to it. I think people who know the game better than us and build rosters are like, hey, I think we need a guy like this. So they get their appreciation, and I think they're handsomely paid for it. But
yeah, 12-year-olds on TikTok are not reacting to Luka Modric highlights.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Gio.
I'm excited, but I do want to know, does Messi win the World Cup?
This is
it's a yes or no answer.
If they play the way they just played, yes. I think they do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Harry?
Yes.
Wow, okay, so we've got 2 yeses. I think this is it. I said this was Mbappe's World Cup. I think Mbappe showed in this World Cup that he is the new best player in the world. I think it's without a doubt his title now. But I think Messi wins the World Cup.
I think so too. And to me, it has nothing to do, not nothing to do, but not mostly to do with Messi. Kind of what I said before. The players around him are just, they're playing really well. Julian Alvarez looked great today. Rodrigo de Paul looked good. Enzo Fernandez, even though could have made, there were probably like 2 chances he hit, 2 goals, opportunities. He's young, but they're playing with a certain heart, and you could tell that they really, really want to win this tournament for Messi. And I know I said before, like, I think if France faces Argentina, I think I would have to slightly favor France, but if like Argentina, especially after watching this game, my opinion has changed a little bit, because I do think the narrative, the storyline, and the courage that they're showing now, I think could take them over the edge.
Here's the funniest part is today, Julian Alvarez looked absolutely incredible. That is Erling Haaland's backup.
I know, right?
that guy's not getting on the pitch, dude. And he just looks like one of the top 5 strikers or forwards in this competition.
Yeah. I mean, even his role on the team is it's strange, right? Because in the first half he played like a more center forward role, and Argentina, I feel like they don't really play with like a target guy. But
they do, like, whatever Messi doesn't want to do, he's going to walk away from, and one of you have to fill it. You're all seat fillers, like at the Oscars.
Right. Because in the second half, Messi's the forward. I mean,
yeah,
Julian Alvarez will send in crosses if they ask him to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He'll get in goal, dude. Don't if Messi points at goal, dude, he'll get in goal.
But it worked. Croatia couldn't figure them out, and given
it's a great tactic because it confuses the defender.
Yeah, and given
imagine your defender, you're like, no, bring Alvarez back. I don't want to cover Messi.
And then the assist, the Messi's assist to Alvarez, that third goal.
It's disrespectful that counts as an assist. It should count as a goal deflected off of Julian Alvarez's foot. That is 100% Messi's doing, dude.
Yeah, the defender, that guy wearing the mask, Guardiol,
right?
Guardiol. I don't know how to say it. But he is. They mentioned it on the broadcast, but he's 20 years old, and Messi is 35 years old. And this is the guy you want marking this guy, right? Because you got a top tier defender, plays in Bundesliga. Yes, it's the great.
He's had a great competition so far.
Yeah, and he's playing very, very well. And yes, it is one of the greatest footballers to ever who's ever touched the football. And I mean, he just I wouldn't say he looked lost, but it's. You can just see the Rubik's Cube that is Lionel Messi when you are trying to. You're just like, bro, how do I get you to stop? Because you.
Yeah. Now, I did everything in my power to get you to come here, and somehow you ended up behind me, and now I can't really figure it out.
So there's something fascinating with Messi where you can't even. You would think like Neymar. Neymar is a guy who technically gifted, and he's gonna do all the dribbles and everything, but he gets fouled relentlessly, and you're just like, bro, enough with the cute whatever. I'm just gonna foul you to get you stopped. But Messi's a guy that when you were defending against him, you're like, I'm afraid to try to foul you because I think I'm gonna miss, and it's gonna look even worse. So they just like. they just shield. They just like try to. I just want to keep you in front of me. But he's too little and too shifty, and he doesn't. I remember this stat or something that Messi doesn't do step overs, or I don't even know stat. It was just like a feature of his game, which is like literally everybody does step overs. It's like such. It is a fun. It's like a foundational part of dribbling nowadays, and he just does not do it. He doesn't need.
He don't need it.
He doesn't need to do it. He can just.
Also, he's so small. If he did a step over, it'd be considered a high boot. You know what I mean?
That was a nice. If we were roasting Lionel Messi, that is going in there, bro. It's a good joke. It's not mean. It's not It's like,
it tells you about him, but it's not disrespectful.
It's like cute but clever.
It's adorable, is what it is, dude. There's a video that went kind of viral, like at the beginning of the competition of Ryan Giggs. I guess he was on a talk show in England, and they showed a picture of him defending Messi, which is really running after Messi at a young age, like Messi in the long hair era at Barca. And he goes, "This is a great photo." He goes, "But this might be one of the most disrespectful photos to ever put up of me, because this was like a 3-1 loss at Camp Nou." He goes, "I remember at one point, it was the first time I played Messi. I believe he said it was the first time he had to defend Messi." He goes, "And maybe 20 minutes into the game, I look over at Vidic like, what?" And he's just said, like, there were no words. He goes, in all of my training, there's ways to remind a guy you're there as a defender. And one of the big ones is you kind of put your arm out and you're kind of throwing your forearm into the chest and be like, I'm going to be very difficult for you to move." And, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he's essentially saying, like, you announce your presence by, like, physically getting into the guy a little bit. And he goes, "Dude, I put my arm out and he just went right underneath it and around me." He's like, he's so small, but he's also so incredibly gifted that he goes around everything your brain tells you to do that's worked every time out doesn't work against this guy.
Yeah.
And it's today you saw that in real time. Guardiola's like, he's not allowed to do that, right?
And that's the thing, is that you think, he's 35, he's lost a step. And he has lost a step, but he still knows and has adapted to his age and has adapted to the speed of the game, that it might have gotten faster around him. But I mean, you see the when he has his back to goal and he does that, he dips his shoulder in. And Guardiola just slightly moves, and then he brings the ball back in towards the end line. As soon as he turned back in, you're like, bro, it doesn't matter how fast you are. You're not. He's always gonna be able to position himself in front of the ball and just out of reach. Well, you're either gonna have to foul him and get the penalty, or just let him get this pass off. And it couldn't have looked. It almost looked easy. That play would have never happened if it wasn't for Messi's magic. And Alvarez, like you said, got like literally a tap in after my man did literally all the hard work.
There will not be an easier goal scored in the World Cup than that one. I mean, the funniest thing was, there was that when you talk about, like, Lionel Messi's heading towards the end line or the touch line, and he turns back towards towards the players, like he's now facing in the same direction as the keeper is. And it seems like whoever's controlling the Croatian players, their remote broke. Like, no one moved at that moment. Everyone just stared and be like, shit, he got us.
Right.
And here comes this cutting, cross on the ground, just cuts across diagonally. And Julian Alvarez had to do nothing besides make sure his foot was in the position that it would ricochet off of it into the open part of the net. And it's like, there's nothing you can do. And if you watch the replays, you will see everyone go like, as the ball's headed towards Julian Alvarez, because there's no movement you can make that will allow you to readjust your momentum of everyone trying to stop Messi and cut back to try to stop Julian Alvarez. It's absolutely incredible. And honestly, if there is, if there's any poetic justice, Lionel Messi wins this World Cup. because it's just he clearly deserves it still. And you're right, he's lost a step. He don't get into fifth gear that often, but when he does, you know what I mean?
I mean,
he uses it at the right moment.
I think that. I mean, look, even that that play, I'm like, that's probably second or third gear, bro? I don't even know. He doesn't. He's not the same guy, but it's you know, I mean, even that Julian Alvarez, his first goal. That run he took, like, I mean, Messi used to do that. That used to be a Messi run, but he can't out sprint anybody anymore. But he can do what he did to Guardiola. So just remarkable. And yeah, look, and we'll see. Look, the story will be nice if Messi wins the World Cup, but it's still not going to be easy. Not by any means. Okay.
Not by any stretch.
All right, Gio Reyna. Let's get to it, because I think a lot of people want to know our takes on this.
And we'll what do you think our take's gonna be, dude?
So if anyone's unaware, just to catch you up to speed, Greg Berhalter did some sort of summit, a leadership summit, which I don't know why we're not getting invited to these, but he did.
Wow, dude, what a clear misstep by the bookers of that.
So he did a leadership summit, and he was asked a question, essentially like, you know, what is an example of a time where you had a job interview, when you had a challenging point and you really have to show leadership, and now's
when we should specify he could have talked about any other moment in his entire
literally
career,
anything.
you know, you could have mentioned anything, dude.
you know he could have been like, look, you know, in 8th grade I had the opportunity to you know, take care of the class gerbil, and it was a leadership opportunity for me.
He could have said the day before the World Cup, and whatever you said here, it would not have caused this media firestorm.
So he was asked this question, and he responds with, look, basically, obviously paraphrasing, but like, look, I ain't talking about anybody specifically, but even at this World Cup, I had a problem with a player where we were talking about having to send him home, and it was
he's like, let's just call him Oblio Reyna.
I mean, look, I know, sorry for being so discreet and being so secretive.
My vagueness is not to disrespect the room.
So, this was supposed to be, quote unquote, off the record, and U.S. Soccer put out a statement being like, that was expected to be off the record and all this other stuff, and everybody went blabbing as you not a surprise, because he put that information out into the world in the middle of a sort of controversy, and so people obviously put 2 and 2 together. And
let me just say, though, it became a whole thing, and then Gio Reyna had to come out and say, you know, he had to give a statement where he was like, I was under the impression that this would stay behind closed doors, or, you know, off the record, as I was told by the coach. There was this whole thing about a 12-player tribunal vote that the players then held Gio Reyna accountable during his apology for his lack of effort. Also, the thing that was mentioned that Gio Reyna said a couple days before the World Cup, when he was called, he was told he would have a limited role. And then that's why I guess he was frustrated, not really putting in an effort in the scrimmage or whatever, the friendly that they had. Look, here's the truth. They're both wrong and they're both right, but they're also both more right than wrong. The truth is, if you tell a player you're going to have a limited role, it could be a test to see how you react. And Gio reacted badly.
Yes.
You don't go in there and not train your ass off and not try to earn your spot. I get why you're upset. I get why you're frustrated. You're also young, so these are all common. And from the conversation, so now we also have to take Eric Winalda's word at value, right? And say, maybe he was talking to Gio Reyna or Claudio Reyna, and maybe Claudio Reyna was upset. Well, if he was upset, then maybe he was getting in Gio Reyna's ear as well. Could he have been a bit of a bad influence on his son and sort of the energy he brought or the attitude he brought into training? Possibly. Also, you have every right as a coach to say something anonymously, and then if everyone else on Twitter is like, oh, I know who he's talking about Gio Reyna, that's not your fault. That's not your fault. You could have talked about anything else, bro. You could have talked about getting your kid to take your dog for a walk.
When you say it's not his fault that people knew exactly who he was talking about, you don't put any blame on Greg for that?
No, I don't think you needed to bring up this exact topic, but it wasn't like he was asked, name a player that acted badly at the World Cup. He was talking about a leadership summit. He was talking at a leadership summit about being a good leader and how a player turned things around. It's actually a positive story, but everyone's attacking hey, now we know what happened with Gio, which was a real question mark. Well, at the beginning of the World Cup.
So I'll start with the aspect of leadership. This is very poor leadership, right?
How? I need to know how.
Because for him talking about it publicly is poor leadership, right?
How he's not talking about it publicly. He's saying it in a vague manner that protects the player, which, by the way, he lied to the media to protect the player. So he said, yeah, the dude's got hamstring injury. And he's like, no, I don't, bro.
So why?
You just ain't giving me minutes.
Why lie then and not now?
He didn't have to lie. He didn't name the player. He said it in a vague way, and everyone else named the player.
So it's obvious we knew who it was, and Gio had to put out a statement because he was dealing.
It wasn't obvious. We knew who it was most likely.
Stop it.
But what I'm saying is, he didn't even give any clues as to who it was. He specifically said, and the story, if you really read what he said, hey, this player came in, bad attitude. He made sure he apologized to the player. Hold on. And then he turned things around, and it was fine. That shows good leadership. It shows how he handled it as a team unit, not just by himself. He told the players, hey, this guy's going to apologize. Let's, it's up to you to decide whether it's good enough or not. That's all great leadership.
That's poor leadership. That's poor.
No, what part of it is poor?
That's poor of him saying to put it on the other players to decide if their teammate goes home or not. That is poor.
How is that poor leadership?
Because he's the coach of any team is not. It's not a democracy. You're putting players in a position to decide the fate of their teammate, which is not fair.
No.
That is not a good position.
Fair.
That is not a good position.
It's 100% fair. It's also how it happens in most sports. And second of all, how it happens in most major teams. Your veterans, your leaders, the reason people are picked as captains, the reason people are picked as leader roles within the locker room is because that's part of what they do. The worst, you're not hiring 23 individual or 18 individual people. You're hiring a team. And under no circumstances is it a good idea for all of a sudden every player to walk in that room and find out one of you guys got sent home and then have to be explained by the coach. That's something that has to happen as a unit. That actually shows exemplary leadership. That shows the type of leadership that you should have in armed forces, the type of leadership you should have in major corporations, the type of leadership you should have in teams. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
There's certain decisions that I would agree that, of course, there is a certain sense of veterans having more experience and helping younger players, but not to decide whether a player stays or goes. That's like saying should this person get fired just because they work in your same department. That's an absurd decision to make.
If Gio stole from a player, if Gio did something that goes against the code of ethics, absolutely. You send that player home, you explain to the team. But Gio not trying in training or not trying hard affects who?
The entire team.
Okay, the team, not the coach. It's not a code of ethics thing.
Of course it affects the coach.
So the team, especially your veteran leadership, absolutely should have a part in that. 100%. Now, if the coach says he's going home, the players shouldn't be allowed to be like, no, coach, blah, 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 unless there's a serious decision made that like, yo, it's better for him as a player to stay on. We're going to take him under our wing, unless there's a way to convince him otherwise. But if something happens where the coach is like, yo, I can't have this ethically, absolutely goes home. But dude, you're way wrong. You got to let the team be a part of that, especially your veteran leadership. I mean, no one's asking Haji Wright
at the end,
what he thinks.
It's on. Greg is the coach.
You're DeAndre Yedlin.
He is the leader of that team. He should make that decision of whether a player goes home or not. The other players have other things to think about than to decide if their teammate should go home or not. That's absurd.
Ask a professional player. These are parts of the team unit. These are some of the decisions a team need to make as a squad. It's not up to the coach to make these unilaterally.
That's literally what they get hired for, to pick who gets to go.
Why would he bring it up at the leadership summit if it showed bad leadership? It doesn't make sense.
I think it was an example of poor leadership not a way to run a team. And
look, we're gonna get we're going to get tweets about this and we're probably going to get comments. We'll make a clip out of this and people are going to comment underneath it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you agree with Christian, you show bad leadership. All right, that's just it.
It led to it's who on that team now after Greg said that and made that public of something that was supposed to be internal in-house and nobody was who on that team is going to be like, yes, I want Greg back to be as my coach, now knowing that I can't even trust that anything that happened, even if I make a mistake, that he might go say it at some other leadership summit.
Now the leadership summit is the issue. Look, he didn't say it with names. That's it.
He left crumbs for literally everybody. This idea that he didn't say anything and absolving him of some kind of responsibility is crazy, Alexis.
This is no different. Other coaches have done this before. Sir Alex Ferguson used to tell stories without explicitly saying who it was. And the media, of course, would run to try to figure out who it is. This is the type of thing that happens. You talk about a leadership situation. He could have mentioned, look, he probably shouldn't have mentioned something from this World Cup because of the amount of tension that's already on it. But if he would have done this in 2 years, even if it was still the coach, it would have been less of an issue because people wouldn't have chased the story.
He was more.
It's fine. This is part of what you do. And I'm not even defending Greg because I like Greg.
He made the decision when Weston McKennie, when he violated COVID protocol and didn't call him up, and now things are different. Now he wants to say what happened. He kept his mouth shut and didn't say exactly what Weston did. Everybody was asking.
That doesn't have anything to do with this situation.
I'm just saying it just shows that there's no pattern. You're saying that it's a good form of leadership or that he didn't say anything and he was vague or whatever. He did that with Weston and Weston apologized and he brought him back. Yes, but he never said publicly what Weston did. He just said it was disappointing and blah, blah, blah. But for this, he said the details of what happened without saying the player, and everybody knew exactly who he was talking about.
He didn't specify details either. He said he wasn't performing at a level that was good for himself or his team. Again, all of this was pieced together by the media. He didn't throw anyone under a bus. He didn't. In fact, he hasn't made another statement going, no, Gio's wrong. He sat back and taken the L. In fact, when he told people were spitting on this guy's name when he said that Gio was had a tight hamstring, and Gio was like, "No, I don't. I'm good." Which I get why Gio was saying that. I'm actually also on Gio's side in this. I think both of them did exactly what you're supposed to do. But now we find out this dude lied to save face, so Gio wouldn't have any extra questions on him. I mean, what more do you want from this guy?
Well, more than this. I'm not taking any. I'm not on anybody's side because I think Gio did do something wrong here. I think, look, his behavior is deserved of some criticism. So it's not about taking anybody's side, but it is.
I mean, how this situation's been handled, not necessarily the whole situation.
Yeah, no,
I don't care about what happened in camp. I'm talking about how this.
I just think if something is. If there's a problem within the team and it is handled within the team, then we shouldn't know about it. And
so you don't trust the captains to help you make this decision. You don't trust your veteran leaders to help you make this decision. You don't think Messi gets a say in what's going on in the Argentina camp when a player's not playing up to snuff. You don't think Cristiano Ronaldo, him not, but you don't think.
Yeah, you're talking about.
You don't think Luka Modric gets asked by the coach,
yes,
"Hey, this guy's not been playing well. What should we do?"
The legendary player on the team.
We don't have one leader on this team.
But for you to ask a bunch of players that are like 19 to like 25 to 28 years old,
they're part of the team.
To say, do you want this player on the team? And you all have to decide if this guy gets to stay or go.
His actions affected them. So you ask them, are you comfortable taking this dude
makes
back?
That decision.
No, dude, I honestly.
The coach.
Only
that's
someone
why
like a Jose Mourinho
hired for. The other players do not get hired.
No, it's not. He gets hired to build a squad, dude. He gets hired to put together a tactic. He gets hired to make sure the players know those tactics. That's something you make. That's a decision you make as a team. 100%.
No.
Every time. If I was going to fire somebody because they lied on some type of sales sheet or something, I'm not asking anyone. But if somebody was a little too drunk, well, I guess not drunk because that's a HR issue. If somebody was, maybe annoying or something at a holiday party or something, we would come together as a team. Or if somebody said something that was slightly disrespectful, not HR related, but just put the team in a weird position, that's when we would come together as a unit and say, we need to talk about this as like a family, quote unquote. That's how you build camaraderie.
Let's all get this guy off the island. Let's decide.
But they didn't vote that.
No.
They held him accountable, which is good for his development, and they told him he can't have a second chance. Imagine how much more bonded that squad was after that.
That is,
you're
him
wrong.
holding them their teammate accountable is fine. I'm not saying that that's an issue. I'm saying that if
then you lose that chance.
If it is true,
you lose that chance doing it your way.
If it is,
because you're saying the coach makes the decision, yes or no. So all the players know is Gio's staying. He says he's going to change, or Gio's gone, and players like, whoa, you need to give him another chance. You lose that opportunity doing it the way you're talking about it.
Opportunity to what? Hold them accountable?
To get that second chance, to build that camaraderie, to build that bond even closer. You don't have that chance. Because if the coach walks into training one day and says, we send Gio home, the team will be like, for what?
Well, what about so I don't know the details of it, but Ben White apparently also got sent home. There wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
We don't know because Gareth Southgate's showing bad leadership by not telling the leadership summit.
Right.
He didn't even get invited to the leadership summit.
I think there's different theories of how to show leadership. This isn't how I would show leadership by giving players their teammates the opportunity to send a player home. That is putting one player over another. And there's no way that Gio feels...
Okay, hold on. Just elaborate on that part. How is that putting one player over another?
Because you're saying that the other players get to have a say whether their teammate stays or goes. So wouldn't Gio feel a little bit inferior if that is the case? Do you think that...
No, because now you have a democratic vote. Everyone on the team
it's not a democracy.
Gets to vote.
It's not a democracy. No business is a democracy. That doesn't exist in this place. Look.
When you build, one of the things I learned when you build a sales team is in these types of situations, that is a democracy. You do get a chance to vote. Not every manager was like I was, but it's absolutely, I think the best way to manage is to say, hey, this is something that's not affecting me. It's affecting you all. So you tell me how you feel. Do you think he's shown enough attrition? Do you think this man can change? You're playing. You can get injured. You're the one who might miss out on an opportunity to play. You're the one who's not going to get minutes. You're the one who's not going to get on the pitch. You tell me. Imagine the person who's behind Gio who sat there and heard that apology and said, you know what? I do think this dude has a chance, and I do think he's going to act differently. And they voted to keep him on, knowing that still meant that person got less minutes. That is how you build a true fucking team, not sitting there and walking in one day and going, I sent Gio home because I didn't like how hard he was playing. You got to let the team have a say.
A lot of players didn't like what was going on, and they voiced that.
But the overall voted for him to stay and told them to his face.
But the point is that they shouldn't have had. If this is true that they voted, they shouldn't have had to vote. That's all. That's the point I'm making.
Not only do I think it's ridiculous, I don't think you've given me any reason why that's the right way to do it.
I'm not saying
that's the way you would manage.
It's just I'm just saying there's no right or wrong way to do it, and this is why.
Well, no, there is. Mine's the right way.
Of course, yeah. Okay. Why didn't I see it that way? Stop clapping for him.
Eagle.
But no. To me, this just completely defines the future for as far as head coaching for the U.S. men's national team. Greg, there's no way he can come back.
He's getting an extension offer.
I don't think so. It's
already been.
I don't think it's been rumored. Blah blah blah. I've seen all that. I don't think it's happening. Not after this. I don't see a way you don't give him. I don't see a way you don't give him an extension. Look at the comments. At least for 2 years. Look at the comments under Gio Reyna's post. Literally all the U.S. play.
And how many of those people are good enough to be men's national team coach? In those comments.
So what does that mean? Are they good enough to be coach?
Are they? They're not coaches.
No, I'm saying the players, Gio's teammates are in the comments praising him for his statement where he's essentially shitting on.
They both did the right thing. He needed to come out and show and tell his part of the story. Now that his name is being dragged in the mud again, not by Greg Berhalter, by the media. Greg Berhalter certainly opened the door for it, and that's where I think you probably shouldn't have done that. But I think Gio Reyna had every right to come back and go, here's what happened. The positive is, the best thing you can take from all this is Gio fucked up. Gio admitted to fucking up. And the team said, Don't worry about it. We're going to give you a second chance. And he clearly changed after that. They both did the right thing. The worst thing Greg Berhalter could do is come back and clap back at Gio's statement, which he hasn't done.
The
That's,
players
to me,
are siding with Gio, not Greg.
They're defending Gio, their teammate. They're not siding with Gio.
I don't think so. I'm
telling you what's happening.
I don't see this working out for Greg, and I don't see him coming back.
Even if I think Greg has run its course, I think Greg Berhalter, I wouldn't mind if Greg Berhalter was the manager for another cycle, but there is the sense that Greg got the team as far as he could possibly get him, and maybe it's someone else. Greg did what he was supposed to do. When Greg Berhalter was hired, the goal was to get these young players to develop as a team, as a unit, which I also think allowing that vote does that as well. And also, you want to institute a system that we didn't have before. People forget the team we had around Christian Pulisic at that Trinidad and Tobago thing. That game, that whole system, that whole style of play, those types of players, all done. Now it's a young squad. You need to develop a system. We have that. We understand the way we want to play. We have players that play that style. We understand what our deficiencies are. Is Greg Berhalter that guy for that next cycle? Probably not. I'm looking for someone like a Jesse Marsh if he would want the job, or possibly a Jim Curtin, who I think understands how to get young players to play at a level a little bit beyond what we think they can do. Clearly, he's done it with Philadelphia Union year after year after year. Now it's we need the type of manager that can win those big games. Is Greg Berhalter that guy? Possibly. I think he has it in him, but I think we got what we wanted out of Greg Berhalter. Now it's time to try someone new that can take that next step. So I don't think this looked bad on Greg Berhalter. I don't think this should weigh heavy against the decision whether or not to keep him. I think if you can find a manager that you think makes this team take that next step, then bring that guy in now, especially as he'll have an entire 4 years to earn the respect of the team, to develop, to let's see what they can do in a Gold Cup. And then when the World Cup is in Canada, US, and Mexico, we'll have a superstar squad all in their prime and a manager that can help them take that next step.
That's it. It'll be a superstar squad, according to Alexis. We're ready. We got that.
Solved soccer for you, by the way.
Let's all push for Zinedine Zidane as the USMNT coach. Okay, he is available.
No foreign managers ever won the World Cup. Did you see what Jamie Carragher tweeted?
Zidane, bro.
Yeah, is he American all of a sudden? Did you see what Jamie Carragher tweeted?
I did.
He said the next England manager needs to be English.
Yeah.
And then he quote tweeted himself and said, just to clarify, I voted to remain in the European Union. Because when you say something like that, there is a sector of the internet who will be like, I know what he really means. And he's like, no. What I really mean is national team managers should be from that nation. Seriously, not saying anything else. And they're like, no, we got you. Wink, wink. We know what you mean. He's like, no. You don't know what I mean. He's like, shh.
Yeah.
Hey, you ain't got to say the quiet part loud, baby. I
just want to get the exact quote of the tweet, because he said the England manager should always be English. So there is it's gonna get the reaction it's going to get. I don't know.
A lot of shaved head guys who were like, I didn't know Jamie Carragher was so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one of us.
A lot of Kanye fans. A lot of Kanye fans really into Jamie Carragher.
I mean, he has the exclamation point in there. I mean, he's really leaning in.
Dude, you can't tell inflection from text, and that is a really dangerous part.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Twitter.
You don't need to tweet this. Even if this is,
dude,
you very much.
Elon retweeted it. That's how you know it's a problem, bro.
Okay, this tweet got booed at the Dave Chappelle show, bro.
But Dave Chappelle defended.
Of course.
Yeah, as opposed to the people who bought tickets to see you.
So whatever, man. It's a look. Whatever. It's just verbally irresponsible, but it is what it is. A lot of people.
You're blaming Greg and Jamie Carragher.
It's just I'm always, anytime I put something out into the world, I think about the words and how they might be perceived, even if it is gonna be misconstrued. I know that it's going to be misconstrued, but I believe in the statement enough for it to be misconstrued in some way. But I'm thinking about it. And by the fact that Jamie Carragher had to do the quote tweet, it just says he knows his audience and he's trying to clarify, not trying to attract the wrong people. And so I'm not saying he shouldn't have tweeted it. I just think there's probably a more clever way to say this.
You know what happened? Jamie Carragher sent that tweet out and then probably went about his business and then was like, man, my phone in my pocket is real hot. let me investigate why that is. Oh, I mean, my mentions is blowing up. Let me read this. And then there's a lot of people with the St. George flag. Is that what it is? The England flag as their emoji, as their, and like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. And he's like, I need to further clarify my statement. It's
one of those things like when you make a joke about something and you like I remember making this joke. I made a joke about like Obama in like Southern Ohio. And when I do the joke in New York, people are laughing at the sarcasm around it. When I did the joke there, people are like, "Yeah, he sucks. I agree with you. Thank you."
He's one of the good ones.
I'm like, bro, no, that's not what I meant, bro. And it feels like that's what this kind of was. He's speaking to the wrong people, and the wrong people are appreciating what he's saying. So,
yeah, man. Again, look, tell me who's in your audience, and I'll tell you what you're saying, bro. And he's trying to make sure he clarifies his statements, bro.
Dude. All right. Well, he has a couple nice gigs. He doesn't want to, lose out on. So,
Brian?
Okay. No, the rapper, actually.
Oh, nice.
So, all right, we'll wrap up there. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm hoping that this damn COVID leaves my damn body. I don't see this.
Well, me and Harry miss your pretty little face, bro. It's not enough on these computer screens.
It's not the same, bro. Kiss the screen, bro.
Kiss me through the phone.
So we'll be back tomorrow. Obviously, the France-Morocco semifinal will be happening. We will cut.
Let's get some predictions. What are we thinking? What's the final going to be? Argentina versus?
I mean, it has to be France. It'd be. I said it last time. I think the story ends for Morocco. France are just too strong of a team, and they'll figure out some way to score. Even though Morocco's gonna, show a lot of grit and heart, but there's too much France. So Argentina, France will be the final.
What do we think, Harry?
Argentina, France.
Argentina, France. You know what? Just to be different, I'll say Argentina, Morocco, but I do think it's going to be France.
I know. Argentina are praying.
I think France
Argentina are praying for that final. And we'll
yeah, see. I would. Either way, I think it's going to be difficult, but I think Argentina wins the whole thing. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. Another big game. I can't believe this competition's almost over. It's felt like 2 days or a year at the same time. I don't know how it's felt like both. But it's been a long time, but I don't want it to end.
Yeah, it feels like, the first 2 weeks of the tournament felt like an absolute slog and nightmare waking up at 5 a.m. And now it's just like, maybe we do need 98 teams in the World Cup. We'll extend this tournament a little bit longer.
Bro, the group stages when it's 48 teams is going to be rough.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. As always, shout out to so many folks, new people. We got a bunch of great comments. A lot of people really enjoyed the Lil Frex interview. A lot of casual soccer fans. If you look at some of our YouTube comments, it's very, very cool that people are like, all right, this is more my speed, learning about the game. Yeah. So welcome to the World Cup, and us. Hopefully we can help guide you through it, this crazy world. So
you know what? Let's take a vote as a team. How about that?
No, I'm a dictator. I make all the decisions.
Yeah. No, Christian is I'm omnipotent.
No, I said I'm impotent, Alexis. Get it right. But we'll be back tomorrow. As always, follow us at Soccer Cooligans on all social channels. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts and leave us 5 stars on Spotify if you can while you're at it. We'll be back tomorrow. I think that's it. I got nothing else. Hopefully, boo COVID. Boo!
Boo! I know. Hopefully, we can turn you guys' opinion on COVID into not hating it. Thank you for subscribing and following. You guys are absolute best. We love you guys.